Good morning, sunshines. All right, so today we're going to watch Death of a Salesman, or you can read it. You don't have to watch it, but it's about a 2-hour video. But hopefully you've had a chance to glance it over. If you haven't, I would suggest just reading it once or watching it once just for entertainment so you can get the storyline. Hopefully you've glanced through it though, and then we're going to start the analysis phase. Here I'm going to give you several questions as you look through the play or watch the video for you to get answers for before we start designing the lights. In other words, you certainly need to come up with knowing what you're going to need to do. Your analysis tells you, what are the options for the lighting designer. Now, in the script, there are several things that the script tells you the lights are going to do. We'll go over that next class period, or at least the class period after that we talk about color. But let me give you just a list of things, questions to look for as you're reading the play. First of all, you need to know the given circumstances. What has happened prior to the story? Linda and Willie have been married for how long? How old are the kids? When did they move into the house? How long has Willie been working at his job? How long has he been having an affair? What year was it when he had his affair? Just the background information. Where are we when we begin the play? Then as each scene happens, you need to determine what time of day it is. One of the things about this play is it happens both in real time and in Willie's head. There's dream imagery that happens. For instance, he's got a brother, Ben, who when you start to look and analyze the play, you realize that Ben is never in real time. Ben is always in Willie's head, is always there as Willie's imagination of Ben. Even the scene where Willie and Charles, the next door neighbor Charlie, are playing cards. Willie and Charlie are really playing cards in real time and real reality. Ben walks into that scene and Willie hears him, but Charlie can't hear him. So Ben is a figment of Willie's imagination. So one of the things you as a lighting designer have to figure out, again, you have 5 things you can control. Yes? You can control intensity, you can control direction, you can control color, you can control texture, you can control movement. Something in the lighting needs to happen to clue the audience in that we're going into some sort of dream state. So I'm not saying this is the answer, but in, what's the 2 guys that are downstairs at not Bill and Ted, although they're doing crazy things too. But you need to come up with some sort of, it might be just different angles. You lose the front lights. It may be that you change the color. It may be that you have a gobo rotator that makes the scene shift as the lights change to some sort of dream light. But one of the things you have to figure out is how am I going to handle this idea between reality and the dream? Yes? So that's just something you have to clue into and make a decision. There's no right or wrong. Again, it's just you are the lighting designer. You have to make a decision and make it work. If the director, you want to make sure the director's on board with it. In this class, the director's on board with it. You don't have a director, so you get to make whatever choice you want. Again, time of day, they're outside. They go out at night, for instance, to eat at the steakhouse in the second act, so they need a nighttime look. He's out in the middle of the night planting seeds, so you need an exterior look. They're in offices, they're in bedrooms, so you need to know the locations of each thing and what time of day you think it is. So for instance, when they're going to the football game, that's a dream, but it's also happening earlier during the day as opposed to the nighttime. Yeah, so what does day look like? What does dream look like? What does nighttime look like? All those are questions. Dialogue, what's said about the environment? Yes, at one point he talks about all the windows and bricks that are around and how he feels closed in. So what can you do to augment that? What's in the parentheses? If something's in the parentheses, the audience doesn't necessarily know it's going to be there. Yes? So things that are in the parentheses you can take with a grain of salt. Does it have to be that way? It doesn't have to be that way because nobody says it. As soon as Willie says, look at that moon, it would be nice to have a moon because he says it. Or look at those stars. You need stars. It would be helpful to help support the reality, yes? And so you look through the dialogue, what is spoken and what is just suggested, yes? Dramatic action, how's the set used? For instance, one of the things that happens in the show, when they're in reality, they go through real doors. They have to use the walls as walls. When they're in the dream state, they can walk through walls. Yes, so that's an example of how the set might be used differently. how many characters are there in the plays? Not just in the play as a whole, but in each scene. As I read it, it seems to me the scene that has the most characters is the scene where they're going to dinner with Willie after Biff has gone to try and get his job back or get the money of the loan. You've got the three of them, you've got the waiter, and then you have the two girls who just happen to be in the restaurant. So you've got 6 people in that scene. Yes, most of the other scenes are 2 or 4 character scenes. Maybe the scene with Ben and them all going to the football game is Charlie and Benjamin in it. So there may be other scenes with a number, but just go through the play and, as you know, do a little chart showing you where things are. What are the ideas in the play? What's the title of the play? What does it mean? It's pretty obvious. It's Death of a Salesman. But how does it relate to Willie, and what is the importance of it? What is the story about? Yes, we'll talk more about that next time. What are the tempos? What are the moods? Is it happy? Is it sad? Yes, especially that last scene. I'm gonna say it's pretty, pretty sad. You're at the funeral. Yes, and so it should be light should be appropriate to it. Yes. So as you're watching it, just come up with, and again, we talked about this before, the idea of having some sort of flashing light or some sort of different gobo in the bedroom, so that even when the bedroom is their bedroom, when Linda and Willie's bedroom, it has one gobo, let's say a window shade in it. And then when it's the hotel bedroom, it comes from a different angle, but it also has, the striped window shades, that sort of thing. That way the audience gets the sense they're someplace different. Yes. Number of practicals. If you want to put a practical in the bedroom, if you want to put a practical over the kitchen table, or add a practical when they're having dinner at the steakhouse, put a little practical lamp on there, practical candles. I'm not trying to tell you have to do any of that, but just as you're reading the script, come up with answers that help tell the story that you're watching. Cool? So enjoy the video.